Well, your horse, and maybe you didn't cover your eyes too well. You know, when it's 4 in the morning, I'm always happy. The night at 4 in the morning, trying to do things to make this world a better world. Maybe I succeed, maybe I don't. But thing is, here between you and me, my concerns are about life, about making this world a better place. And I wonder why. Like, when I was 7 years old, I used to wake up to people getting killed in my window, and I could hear it. People getting stabbed. Maybe that's how I became so sensitive to life. You know, try to make this place a better place. I care about fish that are starved to death when the water doesn't get changed. I care about the squirrels, about the birds, about the cats. And somebody would say, with all these problems in the world, about all this human death and destruction, I'm going to choose to care about the little animals around me. Well, that's the only thing I have around me, that person is sensitive to life and to little things is sensitive to serving God, because God created everything, and everything has life, and we cannot create life, so we shouldn't take it away, in my opinion. And I don't like the industry, you know, killing chickens that they raise in the dark, full of hormones and steroids and all that. I don't like all the madness that's going on. Everything for the love of money. I sit there and ponder about all those cars that they said they bombed or whatever. They have weapons. Did they get bombed, or did they get resold to some politician? There's still integrity in the world, or it's all about money, and to what level? Well, I have hope. God created this earth so that we human beings might overcome every trial that is happening and we become better. And I have hope in humankind. And I'm a college student. I'm ready to start my master's in ceramics. And I'm concerned about the destruction of the Fulton Mountain, because we have many, many trees that have been around for years. But most of all, I'm concerned because I just studied class 114, Mexican history, and there were a lot of lynchings and forgotten dead here in California when in 1946 and 48 there was the Mexican and United States-American War. The Mexican government and the United States to protect the Mexican citizens, because Mexico was forced to sell California for $18.5 million to the United States, and all the Mexican people that were living in this area stayed on this side of the border, and the Mexican government was concerned about protecting the integrity of the life of their citizens. But luckily, the first thing that happened is that people were jealous of how well they did their claims and got gold. So right away, there was threats of their lives for people trying to get their claim to the gold so they could keep their land. So a lot of lynchings happened, lynchings of women and children, and we commemorate this here in California because it happened around here, and we call them the forgotten dead. There's been a lot of stories about the lynchings at the end of the 19th century about blacks, but nobody studied the forgotten dead that belong to our culture. And we celebrate and homage them for El Dia de los Muertos that happens the 1st of November. And we do it here in the Fulton Mountain. And there's a beautiful march. Many people, they're from the Americas, and they're all made up in their costumes. And they go around and they parade. And we have these ceremonies for, all the people that have died defending the civil liberties, equality, all the things that we have inherited and we take for granted were paid with blood of the Mexican people that fought for their rights, and also the American people. And it's the freedom of speech, the freedom of religion, worship. And lately, the people in this building are forbidden from burning sage because this and that. And, to me, the Native Americans always have purified themselves with the sacred smoke. And also, I just did a sculpture of the Apuay Indian that we call rudimentary or primitive, like they don't have no culture. But they had a place in the middle of the tribe where people went to be heard. And we call ourselves civilized, but we do not go to a place to be heard. We don't listen to one another anymore. Seems like sometimes to me. So anyway, in the Fulton Mall, right in the center by the clock, there's a big platform where all people come together. We come together as a community, and we express our concerns. We communicate. We are practicing the all sacred rites of purifying ourselves with smoke so that we're worthy of the hand, and we're hunting opportunity for our people, for the betterment of the life of our children. That, there's hardly school loans, and they come out owing $100,000 for going to school. That takes away, it gets taken away from their salaries. And when they pay their loans, if anybody's lucky not to pay their loans, they have to pay the IRS like $2,000 or more because they go into a higher bracket. They have to try and get another minimum wage job so that they can pay their loans. And there's a lot of problems going on in society. And there's a lot of blessings and a lot of help that we have here in the United States that other parts of the world don't have. But I'm advocating for the trees. I'm advocating for the squirrels. There's 13 kinds of species in the Fulton Mall that I feed. I'm advocating for the cats. All their lives will be changed if they take the Fulton Mall. There's like 11 floors in Mastin Towers, Mobile Imperial Building, and there's 9 floors in California. And all these people that get killed crossing the street because they're on medication, the only place where they can go walking around and having a sense of freedom is in the Fulton Mall. They ride their wheelchairs, and the people that are homeless they sit there and look at the trees. And I mean, it's just like a sacred space to me. It's a sacred space. It's a personal thing. It's like, it's the only sacred place left around here. Everything else is cars and lights, and it's just a system. So that's a reminder of the land of our tribes, the heart of the center of the ceremonial ground. It's our sweat lodge. And not only ours, but bikers come over there to have their celebrations. Hundreds of bikes come over here, Christian bikers. I mean, thousands of people. And what's going on is there's a Chechansi Park that's owned by the Indian people, but Chechansi Park brings a lot of rich people to go into baseball and everything. So now they're trying to drive us out of here, But it's not going to happen because Fresno has grown to the north end, and the north end people don't want to come in here because there's a whole crazy loonies that the park was closed, so they have released, the prisons got an order from the Supreme Court to release prisoners, like 10,000 by 2 months from now or whatever. So they have released hundreds and hundreds of people because they had done a 3-strike, you're outlawed, that petty with a prior, that, they were putting people in for life, for writing 3 bad checks, that even a judge quit her job because that was to punish like heavy criminals, serial killers. And, they take immigrants because it's a federal felony to breathe the free air of this country. So they carry the Hispanics that are deported with serial killers chained up like they're federal inmates, and to fill federal jails. But it's been a problem here in the state, at the state and county level, that they arrested the whole of the population, and then when the population got old, they're not equipped to be in a nursing home. So now they want to release all the elderly that have 70 years, And the problem is that, like in Madera and small counties like that, they're giving Hispanics that don't have no clue that it's a crime to have sex with somebody that's 15, 17 years old because they do it all the time, and they get married if they get the one pregnant in our countries. But they give him 130 years. This guy got 74 years for having consensual sex with a 16-year-old. And then the prosecutors work with the judges to get their name known, and tells the family that probation can recommend that he be free when the judge already happened, and there's a signed confession, and taking the guy to confess in front of a jury. Like, violation of human rights is a dime a dozen. And now that they cannot convict people for other crimes, they're doing sexual predators that are excluded from the 47 proposition, and they're doing it like 130, 74 years. So in other words, they don't understand that the judges of the Supreme Court of the land already said, keep those jails for serial criminals. And they just always trying to make money, the prosecutors, the body defenders that want to be prosecutors and whatever. So they're always trying to do whatever they want here in Fresno, and it's put everybody in jail. And there is no rehabilitation in jail, there is no programs, and it's just free labor. like you work in a farm and work for us and we make money, so we arrest everybody. So that it's the same as slavery. It's always been the Black Crow laws. It's always been slavery. It's always been the growth of cotton because the land is fertile. So capitalism is based in that. It's based in take the land from the people, so leave the peasants participating in the market because now they don't have land to plant their food. So now they can become the workforce and we can control it. I mean, that started in the 1800s, 1750, with England when they started building the railroad, and it's just like, it never continues. It just seems like the people do it to the children or their adopted children, anybody that want to be the 1% of Americans have money, and then it's just like, when are we going to wake up? I spend this time, like late at night right now, maybe I have bags in my eyes so I don't look so well or whatever. Yeah, because I'm up all night, all the time, trying to do something to make life better. And I wish there was more people that spoke up, like speak. There's 200,000 people that come to the Fulton, they congregate there, but I don't hear nobody speaking, nobody saying, you know what, I advocate for this, I represent this. Everybody's scared. People here are all scared to say anything to management because they're going to be evicted or they're going to lose their job. We're a society of fearmongers. I risked my life since I was 22 in Guatemala, trying to support the children and the women that were getting killed and dumped in the Motagua Rio blood, and I spoke. And I took over the biggest university in Guatemala with 100 people, and I spoke. And in those days, there was no freedom of speech. They put you in jail and kill you for that. But I spoke. And when I go to my grave, I want to know that I spoke for human rights. And I risked myself for human rights. But I've always been protected because I serve the Lord. And He says in the Word of God, let the Lord be magnified that has pleasure in the prosperity of His servant. So He will prosper you if you serve Him. If you serve the Lord that has the stars in the universe hanging from the cosmos right now, the one that keeps our hearts beating. There's no division between religions and dogma and creed. All of God's children, all the human race, we are one with the divine.